In this series, you ask, and we answer your questions about disabilities. Welcome to Unreserved.
For the record, anywhere I'm sitting is handicapped parking. Quick, I'm having a spasm. Grab my tap shoes. Hello, I'm Walter Cronkite, and this is the rest of the story. No, just kidding. My name is Jason Peterson. I'm the operations coordinator for the Community Employment Alliance. Today, I'll be answering your questions about life with a disability.
What's a skill or strength you've developed because of your disability that people might be surprised about?
I think if I had to pick a skill that has sort of been spotlighted because of my disability, it's my ability to make people laugh. If you can get someone to laugh at a situation, you can get them to drop their guard. They're not as nervous about, well, do I open the door for him or do I help him? Do I ask? If you can make someone laugh with you, there's that shared sense of the human experience.
What's a talent you have that surprises people?
I have the odd ability to make everything look difficult. My whole life is a mystery novel. Will it work? Won't it work?
How do you define independence, and how do you achieve it in your life?
My independence is probably the most valuable thing in my life. To tell a little story about being independent, about the middle of my senior year, I came home, I rolled in the house and I said, "Mom, I'm moving out." She sort of looked at me and smiled and said, "When are you planning to do this, Mr. Peterson?" And I said, "Right after graduation." So we both laughed and sort of went on with the day and the rest of the school year. Unbeknownst to her, I was completely serious about moving out and being my own person. I graduated on a Saturday afternoon. By that Monday afternoon, I was in my first apartment. Now, the interesting part of this little story is I had only been transferring and doing a couple other activities of daily living independently for a couple of months. And we still did not have my caregiver situation figured out. But I was in my own apartment, out on my own. I thought I was doing pretty well until the door closed. And I thought to myself, oh what did I just do? The next morning, the phone started ringing at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I didn't leave the phone where I could reach it. That wouldn't make sense. So after struggling an hour and a half to get to my wheelchair, I finally made it to the phone, picked it up, and without a second breath, I said, "Hello, Mom." And in that moment, we both broke down crying. And quite surprisingly, I said, "Mom, can I move back home?" I didn't know it at the time, but my grandma was in the room with my mom, and I was on speakerphone. And she told my mom, "Georgia, if you let Jason move back home now, he'll never want to try it again." So she said no, and over the next 4 or 5 weeks, we slowly got my infrastructure set up to where I had everything I needed to live independently.
What's your favorite way to relax and unwind?
Cocaine. I really don't have a serious answer to that. If you're enjoying this, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Also, if you have a burning question about having a disability, please take a moment to ask it below so I can answer your questions in the next video.
How do you find purpose and meaning in your life?
No offense to whoever asked that question, but it's kind of a dumb question. In that, and I mean no offense to the person that asked that question, but how does anyone find purpose and meaning in their lives? Why does my disability have to factor into that equation? I really don't think it does.
How do you feel about inspiration porn?
What?
Stories that portray people with disabilities as inspirational simply for existing.
I think it's insulting, honestly. There again, that kind of media assumes that, wow, he's doing whatever he's doing in spite of XYZ. We need to flip the script and realize that my approach at life and your approach at life may come from different angles, but we're still trying to achieve the same thing. I am not inspirational because I crossed the street in spite of my disability. If I'm inspirational, I want it to be because I helped an old lady get across the street, or I saved someone from a burning building, something to that effect. If you're going to be inspired by something I've done, make it something more than just living my life. I had never heard of the term inspirational porn before about a minute ago. On the flip side of that question, I can at least say I'm a porn star now.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
It's currently January in Spokane. So if I could travel anywhere, it would be anywhere south of Washington State because it's warmer.
What's a moment in your life where you felt the proudest?
When I was 14 or 15, I got my first job in the small little town that I worked in. And before rolling into the office, the gentleman that I ended up working for had no idea that I had a disability or was in a wheelchair. I saw his look of surprise when I rolled in the door. But within 30 minutes, we were both talking like we'd known each other for years. And I worked for him after school for the rest of that school year and part of the next.
If you could have dinner with any person, living or dead, who would it be and why?
My favorite comedian of all time is Robin Williams. I would love to sit down and have a meal with that man. If you're still watching, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Ask your questions below so we can learn together on the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you believe like I do that everyone with a disability has the right to experience life and be a part of their community, please join us at communityemploymentalliance.org and our Facebook page.